to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton sports fans, stay informed
with Sports 1440. Stream us.
Listen to us on the AM dial.
However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
It's time to hit the green. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior camps. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
Alberta, this one's for you. Around here, trust takes a few winters.
It's why players have known Jackpot City since 1998. Home to hundreds of exciting casino games, live dealer action, and new adventures waiting to be discovered. Jackpot City, nothing beats the original. Please play responsibly, 18 years or older, Alberta only.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca.
Quick opinions and fun times.
The Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
It's 11:01. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on The Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky online, willhawkbeefjerky.com, only available in Leduc. Go check them out. Tell them we sent you. Connor Halley, Donovan Paulson, Josh Fenwick, Connor Spivak with you here in the Sports 1440 studios. We'll be with you for the next hour before we hand things over to LT, Alan Mitchell, and the Lowdown with Low Tide. We'll let you know what's coming up on their show later on today. For us, we're continuing our look around the NFL. Alphabetically, of course, we're going to go down and talk about the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks with Bob Condotta. Covers the team with the Seattle Times. Done so for a long time. Looking forward to have him on. Obviously, the team keeping their pieces together as much as possible. They lost their starting running back, but added in the draft. So lots to look at with that team there. Such a tough division as well, with the Rams and the Niners, if they can stay healthy. The Cards, well, Cards might be in a kind of an ideal situation. If you're going to lose football games, you might as well lose 6 in your division to get things going. We can talk some CFL as well. Hey, I just got an email. The CFL and the Tragically Hip are launching a Province of Canada limited edition set. So there you go. I got the gear right now. Not bad. Looking for the green and gold here. It's okay. Maybe we'll share the images on our social medias. Anywho, text lines 1-833-401-1440 or email us, connor@sports1440.ca. Donnie P, what's going on today?
Not too much, Connor. Just enjoying my Friday, enjoying the fact that I don't have to book any guests tomorrow, because tomorrow is Saturday and we have a day off. So I'm excited for the weekend. I'm excited to sit around and honestly not do too much other than probably watch some sports. That's the extent of what my weekend's going to get up to. It's going to be a rager.
You got 2 games in the CFL tomorrow. You got some college ball. I'm sure there's other things. Major League Baseball. We could search it up and see what's going on. Well, I can tell you Blue Jays play tomorrow at 1:07 and then Sunday at 11:37. You can hear both those games here on Sports 1440 AM feed only. Quickly here. Nice little donation here from Daryl. Says, good morning, Connor. We have 8 Skybox seats for the Dirt Super Nationals race tonight and tomorrow at Rad Torque Raceway. Would you be able to give them away to any Gearhead listeners? Yeah, we could do that. We'll make it simple, too. Well, kind of simple, since we're talking Seattle Seahawks. Who was Super Bowl MVP when they beat the New England Patriots last February? Text us to 1-833-401-1440. Tell me if you'd like Saturday or tonight, and we'll send you it. 8 tickets, Skybox seats. You ever been in a Skybox, Donovan?
I have not been in a Skybox. These sound like wonderful seats. I wonder how good they are. I don't know what a Skybox at a raceway would look like.
Oh, trust me. It's awesome.
Oh, of course it'd be awesome. I'm just curious what it would look like.
So if you want to go, just text in the Super Bowl MVP when the Seahawks beat the Patriots. And you can also tell us if you'd want to go tonight or tomorrow, and we will make sure we find these a good home. Daryl, thank you so much for sending that in to us. We do appreciate it. We had some NFL football last night. My Chargers lost, but Justin Herbert completed a 65-yard touchdown pass to Quentin Johnston. Watch out for QJ. There's a girl on social media. I wish I had her name handy. She's like, the best part about Quentin Johnston is this will not boost his draft stock at all. People will still be like, no, he's going to drop it. He'll finish with his 8 touchdowns and you're and you'll be okay. But that's kind of the funny thing about Quentin Johnston and the Chargers. Trev says, hey guys, what's a second-tier quarterback that you would target? Well, I mean, if you're going, you have to look at tiers. Who's in your top tier? Josh Allen, I feel like everybody probably has in their top tier. Would you put Drake May in the top tier after that season he had?
I would. The top tier for me would be Allen, Lamar, and May. And then after that, tier 2, I'd probably have it starting off with Joe Burrow.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about those, so let's just say those are the top guys. Quarterbacks I would be happy with in my draft. Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott, for fantasy purposes, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff I'd be okay with. We were talking with Jay Retry yesterday, he covers the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I thought he brought up a really good point. Baker Mayfield plays better with a chip on his shoulder. He wants to earn another contract.
This is true.
I might take a flyer on him as my backup quarterback, but I think there is a lot of good tier 2. Heck, if you end up with like Bo Nix, maybe you take a flyer as your backup on Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Because he could pop off. Patrick Mahomes, we haven't even touched on him here now. Like, there's still going to be that mystique there that you might go that way. So I think there's a lot of guys you can win your championship with.
I completely agree, Connor. There is a ton of guys you can grab that I think you can win with. The one guy that would be tier 2, actually, maybe I'm scared. I'm scared off by the price tag on Joe Burrow. He's like a 5th or 6th round pick. And I think you can just get better value relative to draft position on a guy like Dak Prescott or even Justin Herbert, where you can get those guys a lot later. And I feel like they're going to have about a very similar ceiling to a guy like Joe Burrow. Now, if you do have Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow becomes not a must draft, but I would strongly consider Joe Burrow more if you get Jamar Chase, because I just like the stack as a whole. But if like Jaden Daniels scares me a little bit, obviously due to the injuries. I would still draft him, though. Obviously depends on how much he falls. Like, a lot of these guys are all based on ADP for me. But if you're to give me the guys who I think give you the best bang for your buck, I think it's Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, If you're in a 6-point passing touchdown league, Matthew Stafford is the man because we know he's going to probably throw for a gazillion touchdowns. And after that, yeah, like, I think you're very astute point on Bo Nix, even a guy like Brock Purdy. There are so many guys who I like based on value. But even like, hey, if Drake May slides into your 6th round, I'd be all over that.
All right. Keep the text rolling in 1-833-401-1440. Right now, let's get to 3 rounds with Josh Fenwick.
All right. Ding, ding.
Round 1.
All right, number 1. What was a funnier interview moment? Russell Westbrook's famous, "What? What you talking about, man?" Or Devin Cooley saying, "Well, we're all going to die one day."
Connor, it's you because I went yesterday.
I guess it depends on your sense of humor.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Devin Cooley, though, because that's a line, like I've said a few times, like, what does it matter? Like, we get worked up about the smallest little things. In the grand scheme of things, nothing's going to matter. The face for Russ was solid. Obviously, it's been used in memes for a long time now. But in terms of just quotability, dropping Devin Cooley's line, it comes up every once in a while. So I'll go with Mr. Cooley.
I'm going with Russ because the amount of times that I myself have used that, particularly the face part of the meme and the what, like that will forever live on. That obviously the Cooley one's fantastic. I love it. But I just think the Russ one is ever so slightly funnier. That's just my sense of humor and my sense of, I love to send that as a casual little GIF or meme. It's right up my alley. So I got to go with Russ.
All right.
Round 2.
Just like from a pure name sense, not who they were as an athlete. What's a better athlete name? Bo Jackson or Tony Hawk?
Probably Tony Hawk. It's such a, man, it's a banger. There's a lot of great athlete names out there. Bo Jackson, I don't, sorry, Josh, I don't know if he would even come close to the top for me. There's a lot of athletes who I think I'd put above Bo Jackson in terms of name wise. Tony Hawk is, listen, I could see Tony Hawk playing about 7 different sports because that name is such a banger. It's just, Tony Hawk would for sure be up in my top 5 in terms of like names I want as an athlete.
Yeah, it kind of works out good with like marketability.
Yeah,
like he was the Birdman, and
Of course.
Birdhouse was the company that he created. But I think you got to dig a little deeper into Bo and how he became Bo. Do you know his real name?
I actually don't.
Vincent Edward Jackson. Shout out Vincent Jackson, R.I.P. But Bo Jackson, not his real name. He was given the name Bo because it's a shortened version of Boar Hog. Because he got in a lot of trouble growing up, and he was a wild, tough, difficult youngster. So when you shorten it to Bo, I think it lessens it. But what if he went through life, like Champ Bailey was nicknamed Champ, his brother was nicknamed Boss. What if we actually called him Boar Hog? Now that, to me, would be a step above Tony Hawk, which I love. So Boar Hog Jackson.
We called him Boar Hog Jackson.
Now we're on to something.
All I think when I hear that name, all I think about, I don't know if you ever played Halo, Connor, but you know how the vehicle is called the Warthog? That's all I think about when I hear Boar Hog. That would actually be, I'd like that more because it would be so unique. Boar Hog.
Now
it's a
imagine,
wild boar.
When you're scrolling Twitter and they show you like him running up the wall, they're like, remember that time Boar Hog Jackson ran up the wall?
Exactly.
And you would think, oh, he must be from like 1920.
Yes.
No, not the case. That's probably the reason I would go that way.
Nice research, Connor. Nice research. But Low Tide, of course, wouldn't call it that. So
Well, does he know though?
I don't think he would.
Bo
It
knows.
doesn't matter. He wouldn't say it's research. He'd say you looked it up. I'm like, yeah, that's what research is.
Well, I really did just look up Bo Jackson nicknames, and that came up. So
Hey, it's research, baby.
I put
It's research.
the wild boar.
Final round.
All right, third and final. What would be an easier fight? 10 chicken-sized gorillas or 1 gorilla-sized chicken?
Connor, this is you.
Is it?
Yes, because I got Tony Hawk first.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna go with 10 chicken-sized gorillas. I feel like I can keep them at bay a little bit longer. The thing with chickens is they got that neck.
Yeah.
You know, and it can one shot to the face, and I'm going to look like Fabio on the roller coaster. I'm bleeding. So I think, not that I'm going to win, but the easier chance is with 10 chicken-sized gorillas. I just have to keep my distance one at a time, keep them away from me, and that's probably my best bet. Plus, I feel like if I run, I got a better chance. They're smaller, not moving as quick. That's my answer.
I'm going to go the other direction, Connor, because I feel like if you have a giant chicken the size of a gorilla, you might be able to trip it up because it's only got 2 legs, right? So you might be able to trip it up a little
How
easier.
many legs do you think gorillas have?
Well, they have.
They can walk on their hands.
Yeah, they
Connor.
can walk on their hands. So
But they also have 2 legs.
Well, yes, but the chicken, it can't walk on its wings.
Well,
So you could, in my mind, you could trip up the chicken and then you could give it like a rear naked choke and go full Declan Kruger on it.
But chickens can kind of like, I'm not saying fly, but like fly enough to Superman punch you.
With what? Their wing?
With their beak?
That's built of feathers?
Would you rather, Would you rather get hit by a beak or a fist? Because give me a fist all day.
See, I'm not going to say where my mind thought of
Say
that.
it.
I'd definitely rather not get pecked to death. However, I feel like I'd be able to succeed a little bit more in like the trip and choke the chicken out. Oh geez.
Choke the chicken out?
Yes.
Never mind. We don't need to draw attention to that.
No, we don't. That was but anywho, the 10 gorillas that are small, I just feel like they'd be able to use, they climb all over you, right? And they'd probably be able to overwhelm me a little bit more than the one giant chicken.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they get their hands on me, I'm in trouble, right? They get me to the ground, it's over.
Yeah.
But same with that one chicken. It just like takes that little 2 steps and then right in the face with its beak. I think I'm down and I'm bleeding, and it's kind of a lose-lose. Josh, where would you come out on this one?
I think it would be easier to fight 10 chicken-sized gorillas, honestly. Like chickens are mean, like they can draw blood at the size they are right now. A chicken-sized, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I make one as big as a gorilla. I don't care if I can try to outrun. Like, I can't outrun it. Its legs are longer than mine. It takes a step, it's like right there. I would much rather take on the 10 chicken-sized gorillas because, like, they're just at like they're not going to be any taller than like my knees.
Mm-hmm.
So I can sort of just like start kicking and stomping. You know what I mean?
I think
Hold one up, throw it at the others like I'm bowling.
Use it as a
Like,
weapon.
with the chicken, dude, I get thrown off my balance once. He's pecking my chest out. You know what I mean?
It's true. It is true. If you want some funny social media content right now, go check out Sports 1440 on X. It is the Nation Golf Tournament. We've got Mac and Chloe down there right now. They're doing the reaction game. I've seen Ryder and Zach Lang both be put to the test. Zach's pretty quick with it.
He's dialed.
He's dialed in.
I haven't watched that one yet. I watched Riders. I'm a little disappointed at the speed in which these are coming out.
Yeah, we got to up the difficulty a little bit on this one. I mean, Zach has the reaction. He played football, right? He's got the offensive line reaction time,
Yeah.
so he's nailing it. But it's good content right now. Daily Faceoff Edmonton also sharing some of it as well. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of Seattle Seahawks. Oh, Subi, funny text there. With Bob Condotta, covers the team with the Seattle Times. It is the Frenzy, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Do you know why people love working at GS Construction? It's honest work. It's work that needs to be done. And we're really good at what we do. That's why GS Construction has been in business for over 50 years. We won't be wearing a top hat and tails, more like hard hat and boots, because we're heading underground to keep the water flowing in and out of your homes and businesses in Edmonton. GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and top men. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Beer League Slow Pitch. It's an Alberta summer tradition.
I got shortstop. I'll take pitcher. Yeah, I'm just here for the dugout snacks.
When you're playing on the field, you need serious fuel. And there's only one MVP.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Load up on Alberta's best beef jerky and hit a home run with the team. It's the perfect snack for your summer sports.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Not sure what wheels fit your vehicle? Evolve Wheels and Tires gives you honest advice from enthusiasts who know fitment inside and out. Whether it's your truck, SUV, or sports car, they have you covered. Evolve Wheels and Tires, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride. Evolve your experience.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. Then a volunteer gave me a medal. But I don't want participation trophies, unless they're from Bet365. With their daily prize matcher game, I win by matching gold coins, cherries, and more. Take that, Denim Man. Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit av.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
Alberta, we're wild and tough and beautiful. We agree that good enough isn't good enough. And though everything that matters starts with a home and a family. At Lux, our family has been handcrafting windows and doors for this incredible place for over half a century. There's no place we'd rather be. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Caesars is Alberta's anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Stay in the action with your favorite teams and players. Whether you're camping, kayaking, or catching a show this summer, bet wherever you are, whenever you want. Plus, Caesars Sportsbook offers fast payouts and flex parlays, a new way to keep your bet alive even if a pick misses. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today.
Must be 18 or older and physically present in Alberta to gamble. Must be 21 or older to use Caesars Sportsbook. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. Please play responsibly.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Oh, well, everybody.
The Frenzy
with Halley and Douglas
on Sports 1440. Brought to you by Wilhuck Beef Jerky.
home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:21. Welcome back to the Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhuck Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhuckbeefjerky.com. Connor Halley, Donovan Paulson, Josh Fenwick, Connor Spivak with you here. Thank you for joining us on this show today. Right now, we'll continue our look around the NFL as we'll talk little Seattle Seahawks, defending Super Bowl champions. This segment brought to you by elksnation.ca. You can check out the new website, articles, podcasts, and more. elksnation.ca, and for your chance to win tickets, you can also follow along as well there. Elks off for a little while here. Back in action Labor Day Monday, taking on the Stamps, and then the rematch the following Saturdays. We head down to Seattle to talk some Seahawks, the defending Super Bowl champions. Bob Condota joins us here on the show. Bob, good morning. How you doing?
Okay. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Appreciate you joining us here on the show today. I guess kind of the big news off the field today, the new Seahawks owner, and it all follows through here, a $9.6 billion sale, admitting he's a Steelers fan, but I think that's okay. You know, you grow up cheering for a team. I'm not going to hold that against him too much. What have you thought about the new ownership group as they take over?
Yeah, well, that was the dad who said that. I mean, it's the son, Neil. You know, if you watch the press conference, the son, Neil Koshla, is the one to kind of pay attention to. He's the one they basically bought the team because he wants to get involved in pro sports, and he's the one who's going to have the involvement, the day-to-day involvement with the team. So everything so far has been positive. I think that the team is excited about their tech background and think maybe they can help them do some. You heard Roger Goodell talk about that in his press conference about how that there's some things in these guys might know in the tech world that can help the NFL as a whole. I think they definitely feel like there's some things that could help with the Seahawks that way. So everybody's kind of just obviously going to start to get to know them. I think the sale will get completed here at some point prior to the Patriots game, and they'll probably hold a big press conference then and talk more about whatever plans they might have for the team. But there's no reason at the moment to not have a positive feeling about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Paul Allen was such a great owner for a long time there. So good to hear the transition to a good group of owners. On the field, Leonard Williams, we know how good he is. He gets that contract extension worth $90 million here. How big has he been since coming over and on and off the field?
Yeah, he's just been huge. I mean, he's been one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. He obviously can also, jump out and play a little bit of end and gives him a lot of versatility there. He just, he draws a lot of double teams, which opens things up for everybody else. If you don't double team him, then you have trouble, like the famous sack in the 49er game, I think it was on fourth down in the playoffs. But yeah, he's been a really good fit in the locker room. He's just sort of off the field anyway. He's a very personable guy, very outgoing. That's been a really good fit for their locker room. They brought him in midway through the 23 season, and I think people were at that time looking at like this might just be an 8-game rental or whatever. They were actually kind of in first place at the time they made that trade that year. Then things kind of went sideways. The rest of that season ended up firing Pete Carroll, but from the start, he was a guy that fit really well into the locker room and has become a leader that way. So it's been a really good relationship, and they're going to keep it together now for 3 or 4 more years.
Bob Condotta joining us here on the Frenzy, taking a look at the Seattle Seahawks, and I think some questions for this team. Not too many because they're obviously defending Super Bowl champion and a lot of great players returning. But in the backfield, Kenneth Walker signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. Zach Charbonnet gets a little bit of a bump here, but the team also selected Jadarian Price of Notre Dame in the first round. What have you seen from this duo so far?
Well, we've seen nothing from Charbonnet because he's on the physically unable to perform list. So, I can't answer that yet. I think he'll, the 30th is the deadline to come off that. I think at this point that's probably not going to happen. So he'll probably begin the season on the PUP list and miss the first 4 games, and they'll turn it over to Price. You're not going to see Price play tonight, but I think they like what they've seen out of him. He did get a lot of work in the joint practice they had at Tennessee, and I think in particular his pass catching, I think they're excited about that. I think they think that's a lot better than was advertised, and so I think they feel like they'll be able to. I think they'll try to just get him the ball out into the flat a lot and stuff like that, and try to get him in one-on-one matchups. And they kind of have. I think Emmanuel Wilson. We haven't seen a lot out of him because he's been nursing some kind of injury, but he played really well in the kind of the scrimmage they did at Lumen Field, and I think they feel like he'll be a good between the tackles guy. So I think they feel like that'll be a good match, and then they'll still have George Halani as sort of their third down back as well. So that's what I think they're going to go the season with. I don't think Charbonnet will probably be ready. They'll probably midway through the season.
Bob, despite winning the Super Bowl and taking his team to a Super Bowl, a lot of people are still doubting Sam Darnold. Do you think it's fair that people still doubt him, or is this kind of just what he's going to have to deal with his whole career?
Well, what are they doubting? I guess that's the question. You obviously can't doubt that he can take a team and win a Super Bowl because he did that. So, if you just point to his turnovers and say he's still kind of can be a little bit turnover prone, I think that's fair. He did have the 4 in the game against the first game of the season against the Rams. He had 2 in the second game, which he was able to really kind of rebound from and lead him back from that 16-point deficit. Quarterbacks are such functions of their team, and so I don't know that anybody in Seattle is doubting Sam Darnold. Maybe Rams fans are. So, you could certainly look at Matthew Stafford and be like, if you're just picking a quarterback, you'd probably pick Matthew Stafford over Sam Darnold. A lot of Seahawks fans would probably do that. If you're just looking at pure throwing of the ball and the ability to run a passing offense, you might go that route. But Sam Darnold, for what the Seahawks are asking him to do, what they need him to do, as a fit with the team that, has had the best defense in the NFL last year and should have should be right there again this year, and wants to build around the running game a lot as well. That's kind of Mike McDonald's background. I think he's the perfect fit for what they are. So, I think the people that matter, I don't think are doubting Sam Darnold. If there's some guy on Twitter who's a 49ers fan doubting him, I don't think Sam Darnold cares about that.
That's absolutely fair. To jump over to Jackson Smith and Jigba, of course, unbelievable season. Offensive player of the year, right? JSN, is it possible that he could improve, or seriously, it can't get much better than that. What have you seen out of JSN, and can he actually improve?
Well, I think he can improve. I just don't know that necessarily means his numbers go higher, because I think it'll be hard to do that. I think, they signed Rashid Shaheed to a deal paying him $17 million a year. They didn't do that to never throw him the ball. So if you're going to throw Shaheed the ball, those passes aren't going to JSN, right? So I think numbers wise, I think they'll probably be a little bit more spread out this year between JSN and Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp's had a really good training camp. I think they're really excited to feel like his second year here, he'll be a lot better position to kind of hit the ground running. I think it was a big transition for him last year, coming from the Rams, and just, not just on the field, but kind of off the field as well. First time he'd moved his family. So I think Cooper Kupp feels a lot more comfortable in things this year. AJ Barner, they're really excited about him. So, and if you're throwing the ball to Jadarian Price 50 times a year, that's a lot of balls to go around. So I don't know that his numbers are going to increase, but I think as a pure player, I think JSN definitely has room to improve for sure. He's talked a lot about that, about just understanding offenses or what defenses are trying to do better each year. Having a better grasp of that. Just, every year you get a little bit better at route running and things like that. He's such a good route runner anyway, but continuing to sort of work at that. So, it's kind of one of those, both things can be true things. I think if you're asking if his numbers are going to be higher, I'd be really surprised. If you go look at, the guys who are ahead of him on that list, none of them ever had a better season either, right? At the top 15 seasons, the receiving seasons in our NFL are all by different people, because it's really hard to do that again. To catch 18 yards in a season, Jerry Rice did it once, right? He caught 18. He had one better season than Jackson Smith and Jigba did. All his other seasons were really good, but they weren't 1,793 yards like JSN had last year. It's just hard to do that. So I'd be surprised if he catches 1,800 yards and yards again. But I think he, could still be a really good player for sure.
Anybody really kind of surprising you so far at camp, or is it kind of just all chalk as expected?
Yeah, I mean, they brought so many people back. Everybody focuses on that Kenneth Walker didn't come back, and obviously he didn't. But, in general, they've got basically 20 to 22 starters from the Super Bowl back. So it's a hard lineup for anybody to really break into. So we really aren't seeing that a lot. So I don't know that there's any big surprises per se. But, there's been a few of the younger guys, kind of a couple of the younger defensive linemen and things like that who've had some good camps, who maybe we'll see more out of this year than we did last year. Rashid Shaheed is kind of the main guy who, when he got here last year, obviously with the kickoff or with the returns, he really made a big impact, but he didn't really in the offense. And I think that's, if you're looking for something kind of new to their team this year, that would be the guy. I think they're really excited to get him more involved in the offense that way. They obviously have a new offensive coordinator in Brian Fleury, and so I think they're sort of hoping that he can just kind of devise some ways to kind of improve that connection between he and Sam Darnold.
Bob Condotta join us here on the Frenzy. Connor Halley, Donovan Paulson with you here. And Bob, I was kind of hyping up the Seahawks here. Like the last 25 years, I kind of feel like this franchise has been slept on by the masses. When you look at it, the Patriots get a lot of love and the Chiefs, but this organization has done it with 3 different head coaches. If you go back to Mike Holmgren, they got to Super Bowls, haven't won them all, but Holmgren got them there. Pete Carroll gets them there and wins one. Mike McDonald gets them there just in a couple of years as well, turning things around so quickly. Why do you think the Seahawks, especially in the last 25 years, maybe are not held in the same regard as the Chiefs or the Patriots?
That might be a hard question for me to answer because I live in Seattle where that's not the case. So I guess I should watch ESPN more or something. So maybe I'd have a better feel for that. I mean, maybe that's true. Probably nationally, probably part of the problem is the second Super Bowl against the Patriots, right? So everybody just makes fun of them for throwing the ball from the one and, blowing a chance to win 2 in a row, which really only 8 franchises have ever won 2 Super Bowls in a row. Nine teams have done it, but the Steelers did it twice. So, maybe if they'd have done that, they'd be looked at differently because they would have won the 2 in a row with that group. That really puts you in a different sort of spot, kind of NFL history wise, just because it hasn't been done that often. So maybe that's the reason why. Maybe it's just because Seattle's tucked away a lot. All the Western. Whenever you're on the East, you get a sense of how hard it can be sometimes for people to see the night games that all happen on the West. So a lot of these, 5:30 p.m. games that kick off here. It's 8:30 in the East. A lot of people in the East probably don't stay up to watch them. So, it's probably just some stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like if you're an NFL football fan, if you're a true one, I think most of them understand that the Seahawks have had a pretty good run here. It has been, sort of 3 completely different teams with the homegrown team that got to a Super Bowl, obviously Pete, the Legion of Boom teams that did, and now this one. And, this team has a chance to, if they get back to or win another one, really start putting the franchise as a whole into some of those numbers that you associate with, a lot of the Cowboys and Steelers and 49ers and the teams, Patriots that have been there a lot. The Seahawks start to separate themselves from a lot of the teams that have only been there once or twice.
Bob, this offseason, we know Clint Kubiak went from the coordinator of the Seahawks to the head coach with the Las Vegas Raiders. With that, obviously, Brian Fleury gets the promotion or gets the play calling duties. Have you noticed any changes from that aspect?
Not a ton. I mean, he's a different personality for sure. I mean, Kubiak was a pretty understated guy. Fleury, stands about 6'4", and with the bald head and everything, you kind of really notice him out there. So, I think if there's anything stylistically you might notice, that a lot of the misdirection run stuff that the 49ers do, I think Fleury might incorporate more of that into what the Seahawks do. I think that's. They both come out of the same offense, right? They both kind of evolved in their NFL stuff from the Mike Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan offense. So from that's part of why they hired him, is they didn't want it to really look demonstrably different because basically they run the exact same scheme. But if there's something I think Fleury might try to really kind of do, it's that. And I think some of that could be because of the running backs they have. With Ken Walker, he was a little more of, you just kind of try to get him out there and let him do his thing. I think with the running backs they have now, they might try to do a little bit more of the stuff you see with like Christian McCaffrey all the time, where it's kind of the misdirection. They try to get the defense moving one way, come back with the running back going the other direction. I think they feel like with these guys, where it's it's much more of a running style where you really need to kind of follow the play. Ken Walker was so good at kind of just improvising and kind of going off script that I think a lot of times they didn't want to fight that with him, so they just kind of gave him the ball and let him do his thing. I think with this, I think the running game could be a much more of a coordinated thing that way, and again look a lot more like what you see at the 49ers or what you saw at Denver for decades when they were running the Shanahan Gary Kubiak thing.
Bob, before we let you go here, yesterday on this show, we had Bonte Hill join us. He covers the Niners with NBC Sports Bay Area, and we were talking about this division and how tough it can be. He says it goes through Seattle. That's how he looked at it. He wasn't as worried about the Rams. From your perspective, how do you think this division plays out 1 through 3? We'll put the Cardinals in 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still pick the Seahawks to win it. I mean, I think until you get knocked off, and when you have so many pieces coming back, I think they're in a pretty good position to do that. But again, obviously, the Rams and Seahawks played 3 games last year. They were separated by 1 point, essentially, and by about 10 yards, playing almost 13 quarters against each other. It's very, 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 very close. So anybody who picks the Rams totally has every right to pick the Rams. If Zach Charbonnet just doesn't pick up that football, we might be talking about the LA Rams being the defending Super Bowl champions right now. So, but I just, right now I'd probably pick the Seahawks just because I think the Rams, if there's anything to worry about with them, maybe sort of the age and their overall depth at some spots. I think they probably have more superstars than the Seahawks do, and I think that's why, they got a lot of attention in the offseason. When you trade for the reigning defensive player of the year, you're going to get attention. I don't think Seahawks fans should really take offense to that, but the kind of world we live in, I guess, everybody would be offended. But, they traded for Myles Garrett. So, of course, people are going to be like, yeah, the Rams made a major move to get better. And the Seahawks didn't really do that. So, they really just tried to keep their team together. But I still would probably pick the Seahawks. And then, I picked the Rams second. The 49ers is kind of hard to know for sure, until you know if they're all going to make it through the season, who's going to be healthy week one. That can they, if healthy, if everybody, Kittle and McCaffrey and everybody can stay upright for 17 games, then I think they'll be right there. It's just, a bit of an unfortunate reality for them that hasn't really happened a lot the last few years. When they played the Seahawks here in the playoff game, they were a shell of the team they bet they were week one when they had come here and beaten them. And so it's just, for them right now, it's kind of a part of their storyline that they have to disprove that they can keep everybody healthy.
Yeah, 100%. The storyline just won't go away. Well, Bob, thanks so much for doing this today. Really appreciate it.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
There you go. Bob Condotta joining us here on the Frenzy. Seahawks wrapping up their preseason tonight in Kansas City, taking on the Chiefs. They'll kick off the regular season and the season in whole with the New England Patriots. That'll be September 9th, a Wednesday. NFL starting on Wednesday this year. More primetime games. That's going to be a fun one for sure from Seattle. A nice 6:20 kickoff. I'm off at 6, so that works out perfectly for me. Rip home, throw on that game. Make sure you give Bob a follow on X at @bcondotta. Text line is 1-833-401-1440 if you want to get in on the conversation. We'll take a quick break, though. When we come back, more of your texts. We'll let you know what's coming up on the Lowdown and the Jason Greger Show. It is The Frenzy, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers the Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
What's 426 divided by 12? Okay, if I carry the one, yeah, we're out. Go Auto has a free credit calculator that does the math for you. See what you could qualify for, estimate your payments, and get a better idea of what's in your budget. Because shopping for a vehicle is exciting. But crunching numbers, yeah, not so much. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all sevens.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Cantork has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Get your lineups and laughs right here on The Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440. Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
$11:42. Welcome back. It is The Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Connor Halley Donovan Paulson, Connor Spivak with you here. Text line 1-833-401-1440 if you'd like to get in on the chat. I'm going to get some information here on our fantasy pool in a moment. I just want to let you know, coming up next, it is going to be the Lowdown Flow Tide, LT, Declan Kruger. They'll be joined by Steve Lansky, of course, from Big Mouth Sports. Talk some, I don't know what they'll talk about. Maybe the Oilers, maybe Connor Hellebuck, maybe trade requests in the NHL, especially when you have a no movement clause. Then on the Jason Greger Show from 2 till 6, we'll be joined by Brian Diardo of CBS Sports. Talk some NFL, get the stats of the day. Wanye Gratz will be by. Hope to have Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. He was a little under the weather yesterday, so hopefully we'll have that today. We've got Spec, LT, and more. Then once the show wraps up, we'll join the Jays in progress as they host the Mariners' first pitch set for 5:15. So we just got a text in here from Bad Nave just saying, hey, boys, can I still send in money for a chance at the fantasy pool? 100%. Right now, as I scroll through, we're up to like $730 in the pot. Now, half that's going to go to the Canadian Cancer Society. The other half is going to go to the winner. For those who do not know, we do this every year. 12-team league, half-point PPR. The draw will be next Friday at this time. So next Friday at this point, we'll have the league all set up. We'll send out the invites, get everyone into it. The draw will be coming up on the following Tuesday evening, 6 o'clock. As I said, half the money goes to the winner. What you do with that money, your choice. The other half is going to go to the Canadian Cancer Society. And it's a good time. The winner of this league gets the money, but also gets an automatic spot the following year. So that's how you can make sure you get back into it. We had the Defenders. They've actually won the league both of the last 2 years here. And Tyler was kind enough to make a donation of $100, actually. So good karma there for the Defenders. If you want to get in on that, all you can do is just e-transfer Connor at sports1440.ca, $20 per entry. So Dean just got in for a couple tickets. If you want 1, 20, 2, 40, 3, 60, and so on. Text here from Iron Mike. Guys, PPR, who do you like me to keep? Pierce, ETN, who goes by HN now, or Stevenson from the Patriots? How's Alec Pierce's health? Do we know about that?
Well, he's not going on the PUP. I can tell you that. But after that, I don't know.
Because he has been out, right?
Yeah, giant question mark. It's a calf.
Calf injuries can linger. He's off PUP list. He knocks the rest off practice yesterday. And benefiting from Keenan Allen. How about that? Doesn't mean he's 100% for week 1, though, per reports. So he wasn't even like huge last year. That's what he got so much money for being 1,000-yard receiver.
And he's very boomer bust from a fantasy point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he's such a field stretcher and he's such a deep ball guy. I think he's always going to be pretty boomer bust.
Now, with those other couple players,
I think this is a very easy choice.
Stevenson, there's another guy in that backfield. What's your easy choice? You're keeping 2 of them.
ETN.
Who's now HN?
Yeah, I'm still calling him ETN because I can't say that as HN. He's not the real HN. Would the real HN please stand up? And then I'd keep Alec Pierce. I think those are, if you're keeping 2 of them, I think those are your 2. But the first one I'm keeping is ETN. I think running back depth is really hard to come by this year. And I know in saying that you're cutting rid of Stevenson, who is a running back, but I look at that backfield and I go, who is going to take it? I truly think this is about a 50-50 in that backfield. And I want to stay away from that.
And that's fair. I mean, and that's what I would say. I don't know. I know Pierce only played in 15 games last year, but I don't want to say he's overrated. But the thought process comes into my mind. He has improved the last couple of years. He got paid so much. Maybe that's just clouding my vision, that he just got so much money.
I just think anytime I look at crowded backfields and I'm terrified, especially when I think one player is so infinitely more talented than the other. And obviously I'm thinking Ramondre Stevenson is the lesser of the 2. I think Travion Henderson's the more talented player. But the problem with Travion Henderson is he can't pass block for you know what. So he's going to be not out there on third downs. And then you're basically relying on, like, Stevenson's, I think we'd probably say, obviously, the better guy if you want to boom it right up the middle. So then Travion Henderson doesn't really have that much of a role. But then you want to get that guy out on the field because he's so talented when he is out all alone in space. So I think it's pretty much going to wind up being a 50-50 split. And I think the two guys you're going to play the most are Etienne and Pierce. And when you have the chance to take two guys you play the most, and one of them's a 1,000-yard receiver, it's not great. He's not a great receiver for fantasy, but I think he's better than Stevenson.
Yeah, I think I lean with you. The one upside with Stevenson for me is just that, like, I feel like football coaches, like you said, if he's better in pass pro, they kind of get into that groove where it's like, let's just roll with them, right?
Yeah.
But Henderson should take steps forward in year 2. So I'm going to agree with you. I think those are the two I would take. Achan's an easier one for me. The other one's a little bit closer. Because I don't know. I don't think I'm looking to draft Alec Pierce this year.
I'm not either. I chose to avoid Alec Pierce. I'm a little scared off by the calf, but I'm more scared off by that crowded backfield. That's how I'd sum it up.
That's fair. Is it really crowded if it's just two of them? Is there anyone else in that one that scares you?
Well, no, but I think it's like that is such an obvious, in my mind, 50-50 split.
Yeah, they'll be splitting carries for sure.
And if you're 50-50 split, you're so capped in your ceiling.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be too worried about Lan Larison or Jam Miller. Those sound like kind of fake video game names. I like Hassan Haskins that they have, though, as a football player, not as a fantasy player.
Yeah,
but just as a football player. That guy, he'll jump in on special teams.
Chargers legend.
Yeah, well, Michigan legend. Wolverines, go blue. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. Any fantasy questions you may have, feel free to send them in here. This week in the CFL, we should touch on quickly. The Edmonton Elks will not be playing because they're on a bye week. After 10 weeks of playing, well-deserved. They'll be back in action Labor Day Monday, following Saturday, home and home with the Stampeders, as they do every Labor Day. Tonight, the Montreal Alouettes take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. This game could be interesting. Winnipeg, we saw they looked pretty good. Like it's only a 7-point spread right now. Factor in the home team as well. That adds into that a little bit. But if Winnipeg can play the way they did in the first half last week, you might have something there. You might be able to keep it competitive. But Montreal also, I think, could blow this one open tomorrow. Nice little double header. Calgary hosting Hamilton at 1. Tommy G will be on the sidelines for that one as the Stamps try to improve to 5-6. Then in the evening, it's the Rough Riders and the Boatmen. The Rough Riders losing a couple games as of late. They are banged up, and it has not helped them. We've seen the Elks undergo some injuries, and they've been able to keep it going here. The next man up has been working for them. For the Argos, we'll see which Chad Kelly shows up. And then Sunday evening, Ottawa and BC. We're getting close to the point where I think the CFL needs to maybe just let the NFL have Sundays. Next week, it's Labor Day, so we're all good. You got BC Hamilton, and then the rivalries kick in. Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Hamilton, Toronto, and Calgary, Edmonton. After that, Donnie, do you think we have any Sunday games? I'll scroll through and look at it.
I'd hope not.
I like week 15, 11 a.m., Toronto, Ottawa. 2 p.m., Saskatchewan, Winnipeg. 5 p.m., Edmonton, Calgary. 8 p.m., BC, Montreal. College football will be in full swing, but that's a nice day of CFL. Week 16, you got Hamilton, Montreal, Edmonton, and Toronto. Oh, there'll be a watch party that day. I think at Billy Bud's. And then Ottawa, Calgary. We might be good here this year.
Good. Because if they are on Sundays, you know what's happening. Just a slaughter.
Well, it doesn't make sense. I know there was a while that the Montreal Alouettes would always host a game on Sundays late in the season. I don't remember what the reason was. It might have been with the school or something, like sharing it with the university. But it's just like, why? Why divide the fan base that really wants to tune into NFL Sundays? And I'm glad they're not doing it. It's all good.
Yeah. It's not like college ball is obviously huge, but relative to college ball or the NFL, I think most people are choosing NFL.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Guys, I got Jackson Dart in the 9th round. What do you think?
Is he your only quarterback? That's my first thought. because I don't know if I trust him to stay healthy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like his biggest pass performance came against the Broncos in Denver, which is extremely exciting, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, this guy can do it. He had 3 touchdowns, 283 yards. That was the most yards he put up through the air. Outside of that, 246. So that was his biggest touchdown game as well. He can run the ball a little bit too. He's got that in him. I don't know. I think I'm with you. It depends on the roster and who else do you have. If that's your only quarterback, I don't love it.
So he says, he chimes back in, he says he has Bo Nix as well.
Okay.
So then I look at that and I go, I think you have two guys who you probably just play the matchups.
100%.
Because I think they're both more than capable fantasy starting quarterbacks for you. It's just you play the matchups against whoever's got the worst defense. You just put one in, sub out the other. I view them as both really strong options. Do I think they're tier 1 options by any means? No, not even close. But those are both guys who, listen, if Jackson Dart stays healthy, could he be top 10 fantasy quarterback? Absolutely. Bo Nix, I think he's finished 7th each of the last 2 seasons. I think he's a top 10 fantasy quarterback. I think you got 2 good options. You just, like I said, play the defense, play the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm less high on both of them. I think you can win with both of them.
Yes.
But I'm not as high on Bo Nix right now. So week 1, Giants Cowboys. That Cowboys defense was awful leaky last year.
Yeah, I'd
Can't
be
be much
playing
worse.
Dart.
The Broncos get the Chiefs. I think I'd go Jackson Dart in that one. It's
Yep.
at home as well. The following week, they get the Rams. Do you want to put them up there against that Rams defense? Broncos get the Jags. Then I'm going back to Bo Nix, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah. But then the Broncos get the Rams. So your quarterbacks go back to back. Then it will be the Giants against the Titans. So yeah, we're going back to Jackson Dart. I think if you do that kind of week to week, you should be okay, depending on the rest of your team. But not the worst group. We've certainly seen worse than that. That's good enough to win. Heck, last year I won a league with Herbert and Bo Nix. So if those guys can get the job done, I think Nix and Jackson Dart could probably be good enough. And new offense, obviously. Few running backs on that squad, so probably be a focus on running the football. But Malik Neighbors, when healthy, is electric. So you got to get him involved. Isaiah Likely came over there as well from the Ravens. I think that's an upgrade at the tight end position. You got a couple that can get the job done. So overall, that could work out for you, Jordan. That music means we are done for the week. Up next, it is the Lowdown with Low Tide. They'll be followed by the Jason Greger Show, then Blue Jays Baseball and the AM stream. If you're listening online, you'll have Fox Sports Radio. Right now, let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by the Edmonton Elks. You can kick off the second half with a 5-game ticket pack and get a $25 voucher. Get your half season pass at GoElks.com/tickets. Edmonton Elks, our city, our year. Here is Connor Spivak.
Sports 1440 update.
Blue Jays in action tonight as they open their series against the Mariners. First pitch goes at 5:15. We'll have that one for you on the AM feed following the conclusion of the Jason Greger Show at 6 p.m. Other action in the MLB today, the Guardians host the Royals. Boston begins their 4-game series against the Yankees, Texas, and Milwaukee. The Royals look to close the gap in wildcard race as they take on the Athletics. And in the nightcap, the D-backs look to bounce back against the Giants at 8:15. In the CFL, the 9-1 Alouettes take on the 5-5 Blue Bombers in Winnipeg. Kickoff is set for 6:30. In the CJFL, the Edmonton Huskies travel to Regina on Sunday, and the Wildcats host Saskatoon. Both games kick off at 1 p.m. Coming up, it's the Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Connor Spivak, and that was your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports